All right, welcome to the
Rock Block.
I thought I
With?
was gonna get Sloan. I was gonna get Sloan to do the
That
block
sucked.
part.
Do you want to
Didn't
try
really
again?
work.
Oh, that
No,
sucked.
we'll fix it in post. Anyway,
Just say block.
Block.
nice.
You
There
can
we
do
go.
it.
Yeah, we'll fix that. That'll sound good. Anyway, we're here. We saw another.
Wait, we didn't introduce ourselves.
Oh yeah.
In case this is your first time listening
Yeah.
to the
Rock.
Block.
We did it that time. Good job.
I'm Sloan.
Good job. I'm Zach.
And I'm Aaron.
Welcome. The beginning of your journey with us as we travel through the cinematography of Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
So this is episode 6 now. We've journeyed
Six.
and grown with The Rock.
I think it's 5.
Is it 6 or it's 6?
I think it's 5.
I don't know.
So this is
I'm
episode.
This is another episode of The Rock Block.
What's up, YouTube? This is The Rock Block. We're here with the 5th episode of The Rock Block. This time we watched Baywatch.
We did.
Starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Zac Efron
Yeah.
and some other people.
Some other people.
And just quick overall, what did you guys think? Hot take, yay or nay?
Hot
Liked
take?
it.
Way yay.
I liked it.
Way yay.
It was confusing for a little bit on how I was supposed to feel, but then when I realized that they were doing like a cheeky thing, like kind of making fun of its
It
own
was absurd.
ridiculousness, and
It
I
was
was
so-
able
yeah.
to get more on board.
Yeah.
It was self-aware ridiculous.
That's
which
a
was
great way
good.
to describe the comedy. All of it was.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong, it wasn't perfect.
It
But,
wasn't perfect, no.
It's not an art film, but it's all about the
it's
bodies.
fun. I think it's fun.
It's a fun romp.
Fun beach movie.
Yeah.
It's what I expected out of a movie with Dwayne on a beach.
And
It's about the
definitely-
meat.
I
It's about the
really
meat.
want to call this one a romp because it felt like a real romp.
Romp is The Rock puts the R in the word romp
Mm-hmm.
for this film.
This movie gets at you with babes from all...
Dude babes,
dude
lady
babes,
babes.
lady babes.
Oh yeah, there's
It's
a bunch
all
of
about
babes.
me.
All the hits. Chiseled
Everyone's looking great.
man monsters.
Yeah.
Beautiful sculpted butts on the boys and girls.
Oh yeah. Lots of.
Also sweet chests on everyone too. Just everyone
Everyone's looking good.
is packing.
Everyone's looking. I didn't realize Zac
Except-
Efron was that ripped.
Zac
by the
Efron
way.
looks like a machine.
He definitely like.
How
I think
did he get so
He
ripped?
worked for this movie for sure. Like he's not always that big, but
That was insane.
It's working for
Like
him.
every inch of his body was a straining muscle when he was doing
Yeah.
this
He
stuff.
looked like a tank tread.
oh wow. That's a great description.
That's pretty good. Do we want
Poetry.
to do a breakdown of the movie?
Just a
So-
quick synopsis.
So
Yeah.
the synopsis of the film is that Dwayne Johnson, he's playing Mitch, who is the same name as David Hasselhoff's character in the original Baywatch, but he's the new Mitch. And, he's king of the beach, the lieutenant of the beach. So I don't really get how he got the title lieutenant, but he's
They didn't
lieutenant.
really explain it.
He's beach
They
lieutenant.
just said that's who he was.
Yeah, I assume that's also a original Baywatch reference. But and so Zac Efron is a party dude Olympic swimmer that fucked his life up because he parties too hard.
Party dude.
But for the PR, he was hired to be one of the new recruits for the Baywatch team. And part of the Baywatch lifeguard team is that they get into some serious shenanigans.
Essentially, they just turn into like a
They
Scooby-Doo type
also
team
said-
and solve
yeah.
their own
They
mysteries.
solve crimes.
The,
Even though
the
they're not
cops
supposed to.
specifically have to remind them, dial back, you're lifeguards, you're not the police.
Yes.
And they didn't care. They didn't care.
So, did
So
have
then,
any
and
of
there's
us...
a power, and then just like to finish, and then it's like a power struggle between like Dwayne and Zach, and then like can they become friends and work as a team? Can
they
Zach be
did.
a team player because he's a solo swimmer?
I would say he came over to the good team quick,
Yeah,
too.
it took him a bit.
He
He
did
had to
pretty
puke a
good.
few times, and then and then they solve a crime about that's tied into real estate,
and
drugs called Flocka.
Fake drugs.
Flocka.
Flocka was kind of... It was meth on bath salts.
Wow.
That's how Dwayne described it.
Yes, and there's not too many. Well, this is all spoilers, but
yeah.
and then there's just some conspiracies, some people at the top.
Controlling everything. Pulling the strings of the
Now,
people.
have any of the three of us seen an episode of Baywatch?
No.
A single one. So we're the least qualified, or perhaps most qualified, to review this film.
I have seen clips of Baywatch on Friends.
That counts.
Our
I'll allow it.
expert,
I'll allow
Sloan. So how would you compare it to your feelings about the original?
I mean, I think like we've said before when we were discussing this movie a bit, is I feel like they were, referencing the original show, and I'm sure it would have been even more entertaining if we
We
did
missed
know
out
that.
on a lot.
Because part of, like, the cheekiness and making fun of it, like, you guys don't solve crimes. That's got to be a reference to that.
Mm-hmm.
They also, like, a lot of times they pop up and have half of their head showing, and I feel like that's got to be a motif
They were
from
just
the
being
original
such
Baywatch.
goobers, just
Mm-hmm.
solving
the goobery
mysteries.
stuff.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they did, and then, sorry. God.
It's okay. We can recover.
And all the references to the...
Oh no!
All the references to the slow-mo running was that's a definite element.
I like
of
how they
the show.
actually had them moving in slow motion.
And
Everyone else was like, I don't know
they
what's
used
going on.
swimsuits that were very similar to the original, the costume design
It
of
felt
the
very
show.
80s crotch.
Yeah, a lot
which I was
of
about.
really high, showing a lot of butt and thigh.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Beautiful cleavage.
Beautiful cleavage of all forms.
At the end, they solved the mystery.
Yeah.
Everything's okay. Does Dwayne rejoin the team? I mean, we never got really confirmation on
I think
that.
he kind of
did we?
becomes like a house father for the team at the end.
No, he comes back because he gets his job back. Well, because
Who hires him?
Well, he proves. I just assume he's going to because he proves that the person that was in charge.
Yeah.
What Rob Hubel? I don't know his character's
It's
name.
weird that we didn't get closure with that.
Rob Hubel's character, though, turns out he was a bad guy and he was part of the whole master plan.
Was that who he was introducing at the end of the movie as the new leader? And it was just...
Wait, what?
Remember the
Rob
last
Hubel.
cameo at the very end of the movie? He introduced her as, I think the new leader.
Oh, I think she just, she was, based in Miami or something. He was, she's
she's
the top
here.
of the Hawaii branch.
She's come here to lead us.
I agree.
I think
Okay.
they're saying that she's always. They're saying that she's always she's been a head honcho, and then I don't know. I think it was just a way to figure out how to put Pam Anderson in a shot where she doesn't have to say too much.
She didn't say anything, and she was in the shot for so little.
She just
I
swung
think
her
they
hair
knew
out.
they had to show her, but they were scared that she would fuck things up.
Or she didn't. She wasn't willing.
Or
What if she
they didn't
just
have the
said
budget
no
for Pam.
Yeah. What if she's like
I'll be
no?
in it for 5
$1 million
seconds.
a word, syllable.
Maybe.
Gee dang.
I don't know much about Pam.
Same. I know probably nothing.
She's a mother.
It was one of the names that you Google when you're 13.
I, for some reason, know a lot. I don't know why. Oh, I read an article about her relationship with Tommy Lee. It was pretty volatile.
Nice.
But that's about all I know about her.
I think I just saw her.
You want to drift back toward the movie?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Talk about...
I have actually
Yeah, you want to go?
a hot take here that I haven't even told you guys about.
Hot take.
Hot take. Oh, God.
That was a hot take sound. But what I'm noticing is a pattern with these rock movies is they all have this kind of similar intro to sell you. They're like,
Yes.
all right, it's another one of these. And this movie,
Continue.
I believe it's The Rock just looking powerful, and there's some green screen
He
explosion
saved
behind
someone.
him.
Remember, he ran on the beach and
Oh,
jumped
yeah.
off and saved
It
that
was a
person.
big deal. They started
was
with a
insane.
huge moment. There's explosions.
The beginning was
But
incredible.
Baywatch comes up behind him.
Yeah.
Out of the
He's The Rock.
ocean, it was exactly what we wanted.
And there was that scene where he dives into the water. So the camera's in the water, and the Rock is coming at you to
Underwater.
save you.
It
It's
reminds.
beautiful.
It's almost like the Planet Earth footage, but it's The Rock instead
But it's
of
The
the
Rock.
seal.
Yeah.
It's the same amount of majesty that you feel.
I just like to say about the majesty of these bodies and stuff, and you're visually pleasing. Just to reference some of my notes that I took. I wrote beautiful people, beautiful cast, and Vein City, which
Vein
came
City.
up when
So many
so there's a
veins.
scene where Zac Efron is doing this little obstacle course and just pulling his body all over that jungle gym.
Yeah, he's
And
doing
it was
Extreme Warrior
and then
type of thing.
Yeah, and then he and The Rock were doing other tests of strength.
Dwayne
And
was
they were just
crushing
so
him.
veiny. They
So
were just
veiny.
dick
Montage
people.
of meat.
It was
Oh,
crazy.
yeah.
Every great rock video has a montage of meat. And
Yeah.
This one had Rock
How
with
do
a
you
notable
can't-
sidekick, and just a denser, smaller
Yeah.
sidekick.
You can't have that mountain of meat not be such at least a little focus of your movie at some
Oh
point.
yeah,
That's just misusing
it's in
it.
his contract.
Yeah.
I assume.
I have to have at least one workout in camera, and you have to use the footage.
Oh, I also wrote pure beef! !
Pure beef. So also a funny thing, as soon as the movie started, the first song was a Sean Paul song, which was unexpected and loved.
That was surprising. I didn't really know that he was movie score ready right now.
He fits perfectly with the theme of that movie.
Yeah.
He does though. It's perfect.
Really,
It makes sense.
Yeah.
All the pretty girls.
All the pretty girls. But yeah, I think the only thing stopping me from like really ever watching that again anytime soon was its length. It kind of went on for a little
It
too
was
long.
like 2 hours long.
It did a lot in the movie though.
I didn't want to be negative Nancy, but since we're just all putting it out there, the thing that ruined the movie for me was Aquafet Dick Boy.
Yeah, we were coming to that. I wanted to talk about what we didn't like, and I think the length, and then also a lot of weird, misused, and like overdone sex jokes. A lot.
I just thought with all of the dick jokes, they lasted for a long time.
They lasted for so long.
Oh, I get it. They're hinting that he has an erection. Then, 5 minutes later, he's trying to pull his erection out of a chair when.
And then the whole beach is involved, helping him get his erection out of a chair.
Because he can't get soft because he's around such hot ladies that the dick cannot get soft.
Yeah, it was really strange.
Who is that for?
I could have done with that.
I did think I was thinking I said, I think it was the length that made it weird, because I did think there were parts of that, all the dick scenes that were pretty funny.
Yeah.
Like I wrote down one of them.
Oh my god,
the Rock referred.
part.
Well, like the Rock referred
That was
to.
so funny.
That was
with
very
that
funny.
one, I really liked one of the Rock's lines, which was he referred to his dick and balls as beef and biscuits, which I thought was really funny.
Beef and biscuits.
Because he was like, it's all of it. It's the beef and the biscuits that are stuck.
Oh
and I thought that was good. Yeah, it's just a little too long. Yeah, there's a taint scene with Zac
Did they show any
Efron.
bare breasts? Or was it just
There
dick?
were no breasts.
It was just dick.
There was no nipple.
Yeah, you would think, and this is a raunchier rock flick.
Yeah.
It was rated R, and
Because it had dicks in it.
it had penis shots.
It was because of the dicks. Yeah, there wasn't a
There's
bare.
a few.
fully bare.
Like
It's
Maybe-
also The Rock swearing way more than we're used to. in
yeah,
our
he swore a
films.
lot.
Mm-hmm. They're just kind of, it's like just kind of dumb, fucking this, fucking that.
It's just a summer beach movie.
Yeah.
It was good.
Like having or ending a sentence with bitch for emphasis. A lot of those.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like-
They're establishing power.
Yeah.
And Rock has to, make sure that everyone knows he's on top.
Yeah. So yeah, but there was a specific scene, for the fans that didn't watch it or are not going to, where
Big mistake.
they go to investigate a dead body, and then Dwayne convinces Zac Efron he has to like lift up this dead man's balls and look underneath him. I shit you not, this happened in the movie.
Oh yes, he says
For a while.
to look for in the taint for injection spots where they could have poisoned him.
Yes.
As a cause of death, which tricked me. I was convinced. Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Do that. I've watched crime shows. I listen to true crime podcasts.
And
I
then
don't
Zac
know.
Efron's just digging with this dead guy's balls. Who yeah.
Who was
The Office.
Oscar Martinez
Yeah.
from The Office, which was fun.
We got to see his balls. Do you think it was
I
his
don't think
That
it
was
was-
not
it
his
was
dick.
not his
That
balls
was a
and
fake
dick.
dick. They wouldn't like make somebody get fondled for that long.
Is it based off of his dick, do you think?
I
It's
hope
probably a
it's
dick model.
sculpted from him.
I bet it's a
hope
dick
so.
model. It's just a dick model.
No, I think it was a fake penis, you guys.
Who sculpts
Nah.
the first penis?
Nah.
It's a fake
That's a
penis.
dick
No, I
model.
don't think
Dick
anybody
model.
would make
There's
somebody
gotta be specific
lay there to be
stand-ins.
fondled for so long.
There's got to be stand-ins.
Maybe that's the guy's skill. Like, hey, you can do whatever you need to do. You can get.
I stay soft.
You can. Yeah.
Right, no.
It's the opposite of a porn star. You can use me as a prop, and I'm not going to make it weird.
I think okay. Let's pretend. Yeah.
Gold mine.
Sure. All right. Sure. I guess I like that lore better, so we'll
Yeah.
go with that.
Yeah, so that's true. It
But-
turns out Oscar
You
from
just
The
say, so
Office-
that's true?
it's true.
Fact now.
But
Tell
yeah.
all your friends.
It's been decided.
Then Dwayne was just taking pictures of Zac Efron playing with a dead man's balls.
It was great. It was
That was such a strange
solid
moment.
dick joke. Solid dick joke.
That was a
though.
good dick joke.
Yeah.
It was good.
Any other dislikes we want to mention? I feel like just length and
the bad guy. Maybe it's just me. Something about her mouth is weird. Because she just had very big lips, and then I kept trying to figure out if they were
God, I
making
forgot how to
her
kill
upper lip look bigger with makeup, or if it was actually that big. I felt like they put like her lipstick really high. It was just something about.
like above her lips.
It just seemed like they pushed it a little too hard to make them look really big.
Huh.
I don't know, but maybe those.
I never thought that
So, yeah.
personally.
Her face in general, though, was
You don't remember her face,
magic
do you?
to me.
You don't remember her face at
No.
all.
her face. It was just a lot to take in for me. In like
I
a
thought
good,
she was
in
pretty.
a good way. I was like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
that's a person. Where have you been? Have you been?" And I was like trying to figure out if I'd seen her anywhere else.
Yeah.
But something about maybe it's because they did such. That doesn't matter. Her lips freaked me out a couple times.
I just like, oh my, can we talk about her death for a second?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because
And,
that was one of the highlights of the movie for me.
I do
It was
wonder
just
if that
insane.
was another
Didn't really
thing-
get super resolved, and the movie just let it slide.
I do wonder if that's another thing that was because
The
it was
Rock killed
goober,
her.
because it was so
Oh my God.
goobery. If that was like a reference to the way they kill people sometimes in the Baywatch
I
show.
can't imagine that they're just murdering people on the Baywatch show.
So yeah, maybe though.
Maybe. And this is like a joke about how they nonchalantly used to do that all the time.
So do you want to say what happened?
Go ahead.
Well, so there's the lady, the bad guy, is this lady who's she's like has this nightclub and she's trying to take over the real estate. She's taking in drugs. She's a powerful woman.
Classic evil
with a
beach
rockin'
lady.
vibe.
I remember her now. She had eyeballs that were out of the sides of her head like
She had a
like
interesting
No,
face.
she was on
very
ants.
pretty.
She was on ants.
No.
We're
She
thinking
had-
of the same person.
She had an
No, we're
interesting
not.
face. She had an interesting
Yeah,
face.
her face looked
She
like
kind of reminded me of Splice a little bit.
I think you're
exactly,
both so wrong.
exactly. Her
No,
eyeballs.
gorgeous. It's interesting. It's kind of
Yeah,
alien.
okay. The girl on Splice is hot.
Anyway, anyway, and then at her party, she was gonna have for this grand finale and possibly use it. Well, she was going to. There's going to be a big fireworks show at the end.
big
It
fireworks
seemed like
show.
she was going to use that as a distraction, maybe to get away or to kill a man. She was going to use it to her advantage, but then they figured it out.
The Asian dude. They saved the Asian.
Yeah.
The only guy who wouldn't sell out to her.
Yes. And so
Unsung
they,
hero.
but the hacker, the chubby guy with all the dick jokes, I got his dick stuck.
Of course, the chubby guy does hacking.
He's the hacker.
He's the hacker.
He literally said he does computer stuff.
Yeah. He did say at the beginning, like, I don't want to just be the tech guy. And anyway, so he like hacked,
I want to be the tech
and
dick.
then they were blowing stuff up. Got to turn on the fireworks, and The Rock presses they're gonna shoot off the biggest firework, and The Rock just picks up the launcher, points it at the bad lady, and blows her up, and her limbs just
straight
fall
up
everywhere.
Explodes the bad person.
Like her arm falls in front of Zac Efron's face. I think The Rock tells him to play with it or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, it's gory.
Yeah, it was
And-
bloody.
And then there was no. He didn't get in any trouble for that.
For she
fine.
was
The
a bad
cops,
guy.
the
She's a
cops
bad
after
guy.
were just like, hey, don't like trespass and everything.
Yeah. Remember your
Totally
life
fine
guard.
with blowing people up.
He did get shot, maybe. She shot him. She was a bad guy.
That's true.
I hate watching The Rock bleed. Freaks
It was
me out.
scary.
He is invincible. That's not even the first movie. He's gotten shot and then he just comes back. He's like, nah, turns out I have enough meat that I'm fine.
I mean,
I'm
yeah, that's what I'm about to say. Like, all that meat, that's like a bulletproof
It
vest.
pretty much is.
I'm gonna get, since it's, in celebration of this summer romp, I'm gonna get the,
What do you got? What are you drinking on?
you'll see.
All right. I like a little bit of mystery. We still have yet to talk about. I feel like we have to go see Rampage because Sloan hasn't seen it.
Calypso
We do.
Colada.
I'm
We
sorry,
do.
there's no way it's out anymore.
A little bit of
yeah.
a preview for our fans. It was amazing.
It was very, very good. I cannot wait to talk about it.
I really want to get back into Rampage. It was
Oh, you guys
maybe
both
my
saw it?
favorite. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What was I doing?
We'll save that for another
Sorry,
episode.
sorry.
Yeah.
We'll do that separate time. Any other highlights of the movie you guys want to touch on?
Let's talk about The Rock's bulk, his muscles.
Yes.
Mass?
I know we briefly talked about it with the muscle off, but with all these videos, we try to see how big he is compared to the other videos we watched him in.
Did you
And
call them videos? They're films, Aaron?
Oh, I meant with our podcast episode. Sorry.
Okay.
Each episode, we try to determine how
So you're
big he
trying
is
to
in The Rock's
make The Rock
time
seem
frame.
less important by just calling them videos.
No.
Don't disrespect
No.
The Rock like that.
No, don't. I almost threw up thinking
Yeah.
about that. But I
do
think
Dwayne
this
like
is
that.
The Rock and some of his biggest.
This seems like
I don't know.
base level New Age rock,
New
to
Rock.
me.
The base at a certain now.
Base level New Age rock.
He's like, I'm gonna give you 380 pounds of rock meat, and
I mean, he
at
was
this
bigger
point-
in Fast and Furious. I remember that.
I think Fast is his biggest.
Yeah, that's the
his
one we
one
compare
time
it
of the
to.
year to really go at it. And
Yeah.
I had the thought because like sometimes like I think they had like the women that were in the movie were like pretty tall women too.
Mhm.
So like when there were scenes when they were like dressed up and then I think they were also in high heels. So almost made The Rock look not and because I think like we're just seeing so much body the whole time that it almost made him seem less impressive because we just have glistening muscles everywhere.
He
whole
wasn't
time.
the only glistening
wasn't the
god on
only-
the screen.
yes.
They basically built a world where The Rock
Is normal.
excels.
Yes.
Is normal.
Is normal.
Yes. Which was strange.
Yeah.
Everyone was beautiful, so it made
Yeah.
sense. He was still the alpha of Beautiful World.
For
Yes.
sure. He's the king.
Yes.
He's the lieutenant. But yeah, I did have that thought too. Like I was wondering how tall those ladies were when they were standing next to him, and he wasn't towering over because he's
a good
like
point.
he's like 6'4", right? He's a big
Big
dude.
dude. Yeah.
Oh, just general, large.
Yeah. Any other assorted thoughts?
Did we like
I
it
enjoyed
more
Zac
or
Efron.
less than our last episode?
Zac Efron, I liked in this more than I thought I would.
Yeah, I
He
think
wasn't
he's.
bad
I think
either.
he's a. Oh my gosh! I also a note that I took was so many piercing blue eyes. My goodness.
The
that was
eyes were
intense.
stark
Oh my gosh.
on all sides.
The girl that was Zac Efron's love interest, they were just piercing through each
They
other.
were too much
like
together
lasers.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm getting goosebumps. All those beautiful blue eyes. It was
They
too
could
much
break your
for me
TV.
to.
It's
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah, it was a lot. As I said, goosebumps. They were a lot for me to handle.
Nice. Nice.
But wait, what was the last episode? I don't even remember. What did we
The
do
last
last time?
rock film we watched and talked about
Tooth Fairy.
Was it Tooth Fairy?
Mm-hmm.
I like the Tooth Fairy.
This was a huge step up. There's two
it's-
different eras of rock.
Tooth
Yeah.
Fairy family movie. This opposite
Yeah.
of a family movie.
This is new rock, and you with like
At
two
least
dots.
teens. Gotta teens only. Teen
Well, it's
up.
rated R. So
Rated
yeah.
R. This is hard rock.
I did have a thought too. I did have the thought too when we were talking about like it's rated R for nudity, but turns out it's male nudity.
It's just dicks.
It's just dicks.
I was wondering though, because like sometimes like to get those ratings, they have to compromise. Like I'm wondering if they had to cut. Like it was like you got to either take out the boobs or the dicks, and they're like, we got to keep those dick jokes.
the dick
So they like.
jokes.
I wonder if there were lady nips at other points, but they had to cut it to get those dicks.
It's
in
just
I wouldn't be
interesting because you
surprised.
think of like Baywatch slow motion, you think there's gonna be a lot of breasts. Not really. I mean, there is,
Well,
but like
there
They're
was a ton
just-
of cleavage. It was
the
cleavage
cleavage
constantly.
is throughout. Yeah, but
Perfect.
like
it's,
they
it's never a
compensated by
focus
just having
because
the
it's always
nude,
there.
the nude peni.
The
You-
moments
you-
that
you
grab
really
your
get used to
attention
it.
are dongs.
Yes.
Yeah. Because you
So
again,
interesting.
because it's so much beautiful bodies the entire time. Like you said, you kind of get used to it.
Yeah.
Think they're gonna make a sequel?
They made it sound like they were, but I
It's
don't know if it'll actually happen.
2018.
No.
Everything ever gets a sequel, even
Yeah,
if it's
but
a
this
new
didn't
reboot.
even come out. This came
I
out
don't know
what,
if
like
this
a
was
year
that
ago,
successful. I don't know how successful
or
this
two
was.
ago.
Yeah, it didn't make a ton of buzz.
I would watch a sequel if I had Dwayne in it.
I would too.
It was pretty
I
entertaining.
guess it seems a little unlikely, but maybe.
It was really exactly what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little
The
too
Rock
long.
goes to the beach.
Yeah, The Rock goes to the beach. Maybe
With
turn
Zac
down the
Efron.
sex jokes a little bit,
Right.
and then pretty great.
Cut that guy out of it. Although the penises were funny.
They're
Yeah.
fun.
I liked seeing them.
Yeah, the scenes went on for
Why
a
not
little too
use them?
long.
They're goofy.
I felt. But which one's next? Which one do we want to do next?
Is it Rampage? Do I just need to
Well,
hurry up
coming
and
out
see
to
it?
theaters, we have Skyscraper coming out.
That looks actually awesome.
Wait, which one's that?
Skyscraper is The
it a
Rock
different
has
gorilla
an
movie?
amputee leg. He's missing a leg.
Oh wait, I don't even know about
He
this one.
lives
In a
in a skyscraper
that
on.
like houses society at different levels.
I think he's
or
like
something?
he's like the guy that keeps it running. So
He's
he gets
security.
he gets a whole floor.
Is it
with-
Paul
for his
Blart,
family.
Rock Cop?
Oh, don't play with my
Whoa,
heart like
I
that.
got goosebumps thinking about that crossover. Not yet, but we'll keep emailing them.
Yeah. Yeah. Skyscraper's the next
It
one to come
looks
out.
awesome.
We need to see
Oh, we
Rampage
need to
again.
give overall ratings of the movie and then The Rock's performances on the 1 to 10. I don't
Yeah.
think we've done that. We gotta do our Rock
Okay.
ratings.
All right, anyone rearing and ready to go?
I mean,
Yeah,
Go for it.
6.8 out of 10
for the movie in general.
For the movie.
Really?
At first I was like, whoa, because like we saw The Rock and then
Yeah.
Sean Paul was playing and I was freaking out.
I was so excited.
And then it was getting a little cheesy, but then I realized it was self-aware cheesy. So I kind of went through
Mm-hmm.
waves. But when I was like, this knows what it is, and we're just here to, and again, like you guys said, enjoy Rock at the Beach
Mm-hmm.
with Zac Efron. I had a good time. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10.
Man,
Compared to all movies, not
compared to all movies,
compared
yeah.
to all
Think
movies,
about
the
a
movies
movie
that I
you
love.
love.
The movies
is
that I
not
love-
even a 10.
That was pretty fun though. I would
I had a fun
recommend that
time
for people
though. I
for
guess
a fun movie.
if I'm gonna like put it in the genre of just like silly movies, it's one of my I think one of my really
It's a lot
good
of
time
fun.
silly movie. Then it bumps up to an 8.
Sloan's one of her good time silly movies.
I was also thinking I might give this an 8. I'm gonna give it an 8. It was fun. Like just summer beach movie. Summer
Overall,
beach
the-
feel good movie.
The crew of the Rock Block. So it's 3 thumbs up.
That's 3 thumbs up, baby.
Stamp of approval.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
And then
Aaron,
The Rock.
how was your what do you feel about the Rock's
The
Specifically,
performance?
The
Rock
Rock's performance.
experience in this movie was great. I've He didn't really do the eyebrow thing. I
had
he's-
that thought. I was just
I
wondering,
think
did
he's
the eyebrow?
almost
I
straying
don't think
away
he
from
did.
it. Maybe it's like that's his wrestling move, his wrestling character, and now he's not The Rock.
When he has to be a
That's
more
true.
But
cocky person.
He still has
he'll
a very
bust him out.
expressive, charismatic
That
face.
smile.
It's the
The
same.
smile's
It's the
still
same
there.
stuff. It's more dynamic.
Piercing pearly whites.
Yeah.
They're always
He's
great
a great
teeth.
character. He's huge. We have a muscle march scene.
He's also just gotten I think he's always like there's a reason that he's been able to transition into movies out of wrestling, and he just seems like such a genuine,
dude.
funny guy, like a cool guy to hang out with, and it's come through in his acting, just him being able to do back and forth that's convincing. It's not a meathead trying to be funny. He seems like he can actually he gets along with people and they
You're
can do
right.
a back and forth.
It's not.
And it's
he's not a
coming through
meathead.
more in this period of the Rock's movies, the modern Rock. He's just
modern
gotten better at it.
Modern Rock.
Today's best and most rock.
I
It's really true.
So
We're getting the most of
could you
him
put
ever.
a number on it?
On him compared to all of his stuff
I
so
don't
far?
know what we were missing
What's
from
a-
him in this
what's
movie.
a 10?
Yeah,
Because
what did we
Fast and
miss?
Furious is the biggest I've seen him. Maybe less
This
character.
I
one
like
he did a
seeing
lot
him-
of physical things.
like seeing him be more. I like seeing him in a
Hot
comedy
take.
because he's good at being in funny movies. That's why
Yeah.
I like him with Kevin Hart too.
Yeah,
I think The Rock in this movie is an 8.8 out of 10.
I was gonna give him a 9 for this movie.
I was thinking of a 9 as well. I don't know
It's a good Rock
what's missing,
performance.
but I'm too afraid to give a 10.
You just
You can't give
I
it.
don't know.
When a 10 comes, we'll know.
Maybe in
Yeah.
episode 50.
He's capable of it.
Yeah.
We'll get it.
You'll feel it.
Yeah.
The world will feel it.
So, anything else you want to say before we sign off?
I just had the thought with this discussion, could The Rock be in a full-on dramatic role?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't really want him to go in that direction, but I think he'll at least check it off.
You should.
He should.
I
I assume it'll be a war movie because he
any
can't be
role-
convincing as a serious
Also,
academic
how many
type.
soldiers are
Maybe.
actually that big, though, too?
Maybe he's like an old wrestling coach or something.
Ooh, if you did a serious movie about wrestling,
Yeah, that's what it is.
we need to
That's what it
pitch
is.
this. We gotta bust out that
We'll
script.
you
Gotta get
give him
the
a script
together.
in the exchange that the Rock block gets a tiny bit in the show.
What if
In the movie.
we had The Rock on the Rock block?
Don't. We're too far. We're
I know
about
it's a
50 episodes
fantasy.
away from that.
Yeah.
Let's
we
get
need
to number
keep
50
cranking them out.
first.
That's what
And
I'm
then we're
gonna
going to
dream about
email
tonight.
all of them to Mr. Johnson and say, here. And he'll say, what?
Wow. Yes.
Yeah.
Winky
in that
face.
order. That's the response I want and expect.
Also, I know we need to sign off, but I just had a thought. There's some really good gifts of The Rock. Do
There's
you
a
think
lot
The
of good
Rock
ones.
ever sends gifts of himself because he knows they're good?
Oh, I hope he does. I bet he does.
That one I said, of him just raising the eyebrow.
That's got to be a pretty surreal feeling.
Yeah.
Oh, the random gift machine. There's a lot of me that I could use.
That's pretty cool.
Awesome.
I'd totally do that if I was flirting with a bitch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Send her
I
my
use it all the
eyebrow.
time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for listening if you've gotten this far. This was episode 5, I think we decided on.
5
I
or
hope
6.
so.
I think it's 5.
It's definitely fine.
11.
All right. Well, this was The Rock Block. Again, I'm Zach.
I'm Aaron.
I'm Sloan.
See you next time, maybe.
Later, J-Bros.
Cue music.
That's a cute one.
Oh, nailed it.
Nailed it.